Today with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled. From morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Debbie Blair and Wolfram. Thank you for your Modly Mod duties. Good morning, Colorado Mountain Girl and Disney Nerd. Glad to have you here while you're lurking. Tim, good morning. Hyacinth, good morning. Let's see here. Everyone, good morning. Good morning, Swifty. We have all the news. It is cold and rainy here, which means Hagatha the leg is on strike until I get a bionic leg. That's all that I've gotten from, Hagatha thus far, but in communications that she is sending, she is out for today, which makes the fact that I have to take youngest, most feral to a dental appointment where he has to get cavities filled, and then have a surprise half day for the other almost youngest, most feral. I was like, of all the days I have the motivation to do absolutely nothing but stay in my bed is when I have the most appointments. But that's normal stuff. Let's talk about underwater aliens because apparently, if there's one thing Congress is talking about, it is now underwater aliens. I have, 2024, you have outshone yourself. Lauren Boebert probes UFO experts on the existence of underwater alien bases on Earth. The American people are being kept in the dark. Well, I mean, honest to God, if there are mer aliens around and I wasn't given the chance to have some sort of smexy romance, novel come to life before my eyes, I would feel cheated. I really would. I really, really would. But that explains the proliferation of, the crazy, mated to an alien romance stuff that has, grown very, very popular here lately in the smuxy book, section of my universe. They're trying to get us prepared. When the women of Earth will inevitably be sold off as collateral to alien species that have lost all their women, or so I have been reliably foretold about in smuxy romance novels. So that's my take on it. Colorado Rep. Lauren Boebert has probed top UFO experts on whether aliens had bases at the depths of Earth's oceans, which, I mean, is a question I want to know. But in all seriousness, I was hoping that either our alien and or lizard overlords would be much smarter. And given the current state of the world, I'm not quite sure that that point, proves true. So regardless of alien, overlords, underwater ETs, or, lizard people from the center of the earth, I just hope that they would be smarter. During a hearing held by a subcommittee of the House Oversight Committee in Washington, D.C. Wednesday, Boebert asked a group of experts if they had any knowledge that the Department of Defense was involved in any quote unquote secretive projects involving the manipulation of human genes with non human genetic material. Well, I have been to my local Walmart, and I am not saying that there might be some human hybridization going on. But have you checked your local state fair? Because This has obviously been in the works for years and years if you've gone to your state fair. And I'm not dogging on Indiana State Fair, but I'm just saying there are some specimens there that I'm pretty sure were crossed with a Sasquatch. If you have that area back, why would you wear a tank top? I can't imagine that you're going to feel the breeze any better through that mat of hair, but, you know, it is Indiana, and you can tell the weather by, you know, uh, whether the most hairy man in your neighborhood has a tank top on. Like, "It's gonna be a scorcher today. Bill has a tank top on and a shag carpet for some reason." A team of 4 experts consisting of a retired Navy Rear Admiral, the joke writes itself, former DoD official, and a former NASA associate administrator, and a journalist, testified that the government lacks transparency with the public regarding UAPs and alien life. During the hearing, dubbed "Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Exposing the Truth," Bober asked the experts about rumors that have come up regarding a secretive department and project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genes. Are you familiar with that? Yes or no? All 4 experts said that they were unfamiliar with that claim. The Colorado Congresswoman then asked Michael Schellenberger if the Navy or other Marine forces had reported UAPs around oceanic environments that could not be explained by known technology or natural phenomenon. Schellenberger, who published a 12-page report on an alleged secret program run by the Pentagon called Immaculate Constellation, that sounds like the new Coldplay album. I mean, oh god, are they involved in Coldplay? Because that would explain a whole lot of how they were so popular. Yes, I'm coming out. I do not like Coldplay. I'm sorry, but yellow is my unfavoritist color. Said the report has a number of instances involving UAPs and the ocean. Bobert then asked if his investigation into the program shows a conservative effort from the Pentagon to keep Congress out of the loop, specifically in our waters. Yes, Schellenberg responded. Schellenberger, not Schellenberg. There's an at the end. Uh, Claimed that an unacknowledged special program access was illegally being withheld from Congress by the Pentagon. Are there any accounts of UAPs emerging from or submerging into our waters that could indicate a base or a presence of a base on the Earth's or on the ocean's surface? Now, Schellenberger says he doesn't know anything about a base, so apparently our aquatic mermen with six packs may not be, here quite yet. Bobert followed up by asking, were there any technological capabilities that have been observed in oceanic UAPs that defy our current understanding of physics or human engineering capabilities? Unhung hero, Coldplay album would be Immaculate Constipation. True. I mean, I was going to use Nickelback, but I think I make fun of them so much that I was actually followed by, I'm sure not the real, oh god, what is the guy's name from freaking Nickelback? Chad Kruger? Anywho, a guy that pretended to be him, wanted to friend me on Facebook, so figured I was making too much fun of them. So now I want Chris Martin to try to friend me too. So there you go. Underwater ETs, possibly, but in my humble opinion, I'm pretty sure that Earth is that neighborhood that you lock your doors up or doors and roll your windows up and don't stop there unless, like, you are needing an emergency room. So I can just imagine that Earth is like that planet. We are the reality TV. We are the sister wives. We are the real housewives of the universe. And people just watch us thinking, gosh, they are the weirdest, dumbest people. We are the alien state fair. That's all I've got to say about that. That's my humble, non-scientific, explanation for all of this. Some people go to BravCon. The aliens watch Earth TV. Um, and I did not know that pies were this lucrative. Well, I mean, I as a carbohydrate lover, I figured pies would be lucrative, but the heir to a nearly $300 million pie fortune made a chilling online search before allegedly frenzied stabbing of a roommate. Well, I mean, I kinda hope that welcome, Tammy. Thank you for being a member of the Church of Mo for 6 months. Welcome, welcome. You know, uh, also, you're this rich, you probably went to all the Ivy prep schools, you're probably I mean, this looks like a UK locality just based on the pints. So are you telling me that you Googled your crime, Mr. Very Smart probably went to, like, preparatory preschool? Wow, they just don't make, evil mastermind geniuses that also own pie companies the same anymore. The heir to a 292 million pie fortune brutally unalived his only friend on Christmas Eve in the UK and made a grisly internet search while plotting the twisted attacks, according to reports. Dylan Thomas, 24, searched, quote, the anatomy of the neck just before allegedly ambushing his unsuspecting roommate and friend, William Bush, 23, who was planning on moving in with his girlfriend. Unknown hero, thank you for the super chat. Took minced meat a little too literally. Absolutely right. I will say that it okay, I was not the smartest kiddo, so when my mom told me that minced meat pie actually had mince in it, or, well, meat, to be honest, I was like, "You are lying to me. Why would you put hamburger helper into a pie?" That's exactly what I thought it was. And it still goes against my very basic premise of why the hell did we put hamburger or suet? I understand why you put suet into it now. I am older, but I was like, why the hell would you put meat in? Like, how many how much booze were old time people drinking? I think I actually asked my mom that, and she's like, it's a tradition. I don't think they were drunk. And I was like, Mom, they put hamburger in a pie with raisins and apples. There better have been, some sort of intoxication with this particular premise, or I am confused. Thank you, Christine, for being a member for a full year. Congratulations. I think you are our longest member of the congregation. So, congratulations and thank you for your support. Let's see here. The alleged murderer is the heir to a business empire of his grandfather, Sir Gilbert Stanley Thomas. Ooh, did he invent the cups too? I'm just saying, dude, you had all this money and you had pies? What the hell? Which includes the vaunted Peter's Pies. The British food giant is worth an estimated $292 million. On Christmas Eve 2003, Thomas told his friend, whom he met in primary school 10 years earlier, that he needed to see him prior to the pair going home for Christmas. Thomas coaxed Bush into his bedroom and then perforated him in the back of the neck with either a lock knife or a flick knife in what the police have termed a frenzied attack, the court heard, according to an outlet. Now, Brush, leaking blood, fled for his life down 2 flights of stairs of their shared home, through the kitchen and out the patio as his assailant followed. Prosecutors alleged in court, according to the report. On the patio, Bush was repeatedly stabbed in the head and chest area and unfortunately would pass away because of a wound to his neck. Bush sustained a total of 37 wounds, including 13 to the front and side of his neck, according to the BBC. Neighbors reported screams of horror could be heard from, the backyard and then from the street during the attack. Bull, I guess it would be the King's prosecutor or the King's, or wasn't it the Queen's? Look, they have different verbiage, and last night was just not a great pain night, so I'm having but I know it's like the King's Court or they do something different. It used to be the QC, but now it's the KC, I think? I don't know. I love British stuff, mostly the Bakewell tarts, but I don't know all the courtly court terms. Now, a video shown to the jury shows officers confronting a blood-covered assailant on that fateful Christmas Eve after receiving calls. In the video, police can be heard asking Thomas, "Where is the person who did this?" According to The Independent. Thomas replies that the assailant is not alive and that he disarmed him. The court heard testimony from the victim's girlfriend who said the sick pie heir had talked about unaliving his only friend prior to the alleged murder. Jeffries told the police that the dynamic the two friends' relationship had changed when she began to date Bush, and turned dramatically worse when the couple announced their plans to move in together. Will told me that Dylan had come into his room and told him, "I have thought or wondered about unaliving you," girlfriend of the decedent, Ella Jeffries, told the police. Uh, Bush slept with his door barricaded after those comments. Thomas had a strange run-in with the law in the weeks leading up to the alleged murder. Oh, Wolfram, congratulations. You guys are the OGs. Thank you so much for your support. I wish they would list out in time. Maybe they do, and I just haven't figured out. But thank you guys so much for your support and being a part of the Church of Mo. Now, on November 6, 2023, Thomas was arrested for trying to climb the fence of Buckingham Palace, according to the BBC. Thomas was out on bail. Awesome possum. So close. Guys are going to be the deacons of the Church of Mo. Congratulations, you've been volunteered for more work based on seniority. You have to make sure everyone gets the bulletin and no one falls asleep. Chewing gum is okay, but if anyone brings a recorder into church, y'all know what to do. How the hell is this guy out on bail for trying to climb into Buckingham Palace? The jury will determine whether the act buttresses arguments that Thomas was not of sound mind while allegedly carrying out the heartless unaliving of his best friend, with some arguments in the statements about murderous ideation and anatomical internet searches indicating premeditation. Two psychiatrists at the trial came to conflicting conclusions, of course, because they're on different sides. Since his arrest, Thomas has been receiving treatment for schizophrenia at the hospital, prosecutors said, according to The Independent. Thomas has pled guilty to manslaughter. Manslaughter, you perforated the man with 32 damn stab wounds, and you're like, "Look, I tripped going down a flight of stairs. Have you ever seen a slinky? It was kind of like that, but with a knife." Courtney Clenny, we're going to need your knife tossing expert here to make sure that, everything, every single possibility. Voluntold, yes. I forgot that word. I hate when words confuse me. Um, Lord Chippy operators, I will need your, experience and attendance because we have a new contestant. What in the name of Hades in a handbasket is this crap? Former Dixon schoolteacher arrested for allegedly paying students to, get abused by her. Not have the smexy time with her. This is abuse. There, I fixed it for you, Yahoo News editorial. I swear to goodness, if they don't start calling what these women do abuse, I am going to lose my ever-loving mind. Because if it was a girl that had been, paid, or a gaggle of girls that were paid by their male teacher to have this mexi time, people would be up in arms. And I'm getting real tired of this, where it's like, oh, she has boobs? Well, then obviously it was just sexual relations. No, it wasn't. A teacher for the Dixon School District was arrested by law enforcement Tuesday, November 12th on 19, yes, 19 nearly 20 charges, including statutory rape and sexual contact with a juvenile, according to Pulaski County Sheriff's Department. Online court documents state that Carissa Smith is now charged with the following: 8 counts of second degree statutory rape, 1 count of second degree statutory sodomy, 2 counts of sexual misconduct with a student, 3 counts of sexual conduct with or contact with a student, 2 counts of second degree trafficking of a child under 18 years old, 1 count of patronizing prostitution, and 2 counts of hindering prosecution. I thought it said prostitution, and I was like, wait, you can get upset for hindering prostitution, but it's prosecution. This is what happens when you don't have a lot of sleep. Online records say that Smith began as a substitute teacher for Dixon Middle School. Ma'am, you are lucky I don't have access to a real Lord Chippy, allegedly in Minecraft. Then she was hired as a paraprofessional for the high school in 2023 and 2024, and was later hired as a long-term substitute until her resignation in August 2024. After interviewing multiple victims, the sheriff's department says that Smith offered money to students in exchange for abuse and oral abuse, mainly at her residence. One victim stated they had relations with Smith when they were in middle school. The probable cause statement also accuses Smith of providing the devil's lettuce and alcohol to students, letting them smoke and drink in her presence, as well as sending inappropriate videos and photos of herself to a victim through Snapchat. Smith is currently being held at the Pulaski County Detention Center, probably for her damn safety, because I know a bunch of mama bears are like, we're taking our earrings out, we're putting our hair up in this kind of bun because you don't want to have loose flying hair, and we're going to take care of business. Now, she is in the detention center with a $250,000 cash or surety bond. The Department of the Police is saying that she will probably face more charges after they interview more victims. You are a gross human being, ma'am, if you actually did the crimes that you have, been accused of. And I hope that you have absolutely, they have concrete evidence and you stay in jail for the rest of your life, because you can obviously not be trusted with young children. It's gross when a man does it, it's gross when a woman does it, and I really don't care. Now, this is normally not a political channel, but this is, partially a true crime channel, sort of ish. It's a lot of different kind of things. But I do believe that this will probably be a big case going through. Now, partially because of the political things, but partially because, of the sort of the sort of relevance and kind of zeitgeist that's going around in the country. So I would not be surprised to see this be a heavily published and followed trial in the future. Wife of a prominent trans writer hacked father to unaliveness with an ice axe after Trump's election night victory, according to cops. So I do believe that this is going to be something that will be big on, court TV, trial TV, all of that kind of thing. I think law and crime, if we're looking at televised trials, I do believe that this is probably going to be a big one coming in the future. A space rocket program manager butchered her father with an ice axe on election night after a breakdown following President-elect Donald Trump's victory, and was found smiling and clapping, covered in her own loved one's blood. Or it's just going to be the start of a freaking horror movie. Holy fazolies. Cory Book considered the bloody rampage in which she allegedly strangled, bit, and hacked her 67-year-old father in the $800,000 Seattle home that they shared as a quote-unquote act of liberation, the charging documents allege. Burke, 33, is a training program manager at Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' spacecraft company, according to her LinkedIn, and is married to prominent transgender writer Samantha Leigh Allen, public records show. So I believe this is her and her significant other. Because y'all, I am not going to get hit by the cancellation stick when I don't know what's going on here. Helen is the author of the acclaimed book, Real Queer America LGBT Stories from Red States, and an editor at Them, a Condé Nast transgender news publication. The killing was meant to, quote, help people change their attachments to parents. You unalived your father for the message for modern audiences? This man helped you when you were sick. Yeah, you guys might not see the same or eye to eye on politics. And do you know what I told my daughter when we were going and we thought she was going to be able to vote? I looked her dead in the eye and told her, I don't care who you vote for because you're not me and we think differently. I just want you to be able to have, strong convictions. And in this country, you don't have to tell anyone who you vote for. You don't have to defend your vote to anyone. So I certainly wouldn't start with myself being, the person that's going to judge her. I was like, as long as you feel strongly, you've researched the, issues, I don't care who you vote for. That's your internal process. I just want you to have researched and be informed. Burke had been upset about the election and knew Trump would handily beat Vice President Kamala Harris. How? How did she know that when all the pollsters didn't? Does she know Miss Cleo? She allegedly snapped, apparently when her father, Timothy Burke, refused to turn off the lights. She went upstairs, grabbed an ice pick, tripped her father, choked him, and bit him on the floor, then struck him repeatedly with the blunt and sharp ends of the tool. Burke sat down next to her father, watched him pass. What in the Sarah Boone fuckery is this crap? Look, this man gave you life. Yeah, maybe he doesn't vote the way you want, and I get that there are hard feelings on some sides here. I get that. But you sat there and watched a man die? A man that gave you life, a man that maybe you didn't agree with, but he was there during your biggest moments. Are you insane? Now, she then smashed all the windows in the house as in what she described as an act of liberation. Well, your act of liberation is going to get you assigned to the clink or possibly the chair, madam. So, good job. The irony is rich here. When cops arrived, they found Burke clapping because she was so happy. Alrighty. Burke has worked at Blue Origin for about 5 years, according to her LinkedIn page, and lived with her father in a house in South Seattle. Burke told the police she had a strained relationship with her father without strong boundaries that left her feeling hyper-focused and disorganized. Hyper-focused and disorganized are concepts that I can understand, but in the do what? In the what? Apparently, Trump's election victory just overwhelmed her, pushed her right all the way into her own snap and, just episode. And she just reached a breaking point. Well, I guess if she was just overly stressed, we should let her out of prison. I mean, it's not like life causes stressful things all the time. I'm sure she'll be fine. Oh no, we reach another level of crazy. The article is not done yet, y'all. Apparently, when officers arrived, she came out of the house with her hands up and blood smeared all over her face. But she said she didn't have any idea where the blood came from or who smashed the windows. She later described the dispute with her father over the lights, eventually whispering, I killed him. To one officer, the charging document said. Well, she is being charged with first-degree murder and not just smashing the window, so Seattle, good job. She is being held on a $2 million bail. Well, could it possibly be that Jeff Bezos, his space program hasn't been doing so great, and here Elon Musk is, like, catching rockets with chopsticks, and she was just like, "It's too much. Elon done did it. If that's not a defense, you guys, I will pay someone $1." Well, that's a lot. Like, I will do a lot of things for some carbs, but I don't know that I'm going to spend a bunch of money on Queen El What did you do to this pup? What? No, what is wrong with you?
It just came up.
And we have had our obligatory when youngest most feral is home, feral interruption. And yes, most of my parenting conversations start with, "What is wrong with you?" I feel like king of the hill. I'm like, "The boy ain't right, Peggy. The boy ain't right." Just the boy ain't right, just as my entire defense on everything. He exploded a pop. So I don't know how one does this with such alacrity, but there you go. It's, it is what it is at this point. A slice of this royal's decade-old wedding cake just made history and sold for a mouthwatering sum. Uh, I mean, I'm as pro cake as the rest of people, but, yeah, I'm not gonna spend a bunch for an antique cake. Many brides and grooms throughout the years have followed the tradition of freezing part of their wedding cake and eating it on their first anniversary, but one royal staffer took things to the next level and forgot the whole freezer aspect when it came to gifted cake. A piece of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's 1947 royal wedding cake was recently auctioned off for £2,200, or roughly about 2,800 dollars, after a family of a former royal housekeeper found it under a bed in a suitcase. Um, yeah, I don't want your weird Sarah Boone suitcase cake piece. Just no, no, I don't. The 77-year-old pastry was sent to Marion Polson, who worked at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh, Scotland, at the time of the wedding. Queen Elizabeth, who was still Princess Elizabeth at the time, married Prince Philip on November 20th, 1947, and the couple would have celebrated their 77th anniversary next week. In photos from the auction house, Riemann Dancy, the cake looks, well, not exactly fit for human consumption. I mean, where is a picture of the cake? I mean, the cake piece. Ooh. I mean, bleh. Look, I would spend $2,000 so fast at the Sailor Moon store, so I am trying to understand that, different strokes for different folks, but a moldy piece of cake just because, two really important people got married and it was theirs and it sat in a suitcase for 77 years? No. However, the slice is still in its original box and paper wrapping with Polson's address and a letter that came with it from Princess Elizabeth herself. While other pieces of the Queen's wedding cake have sold before, according to James Grinter of Riemann Dancy via the BBC, this one is especially rare as it's the first to be sold in completeness. Someone sold a bitten piece of vintage cake? Good Lord. As for the lucky bidder, the BBC reported that a royal fan in China purchased over the phone for the four-figure amount after the cake was only expected to fetch about £500. In the letter, Elizabeth thanked Polson for her delightful wedding present and noted that she was enchanted with the dessert service during the royal wedding. The late housekeeper served the royal family for 38 years per the BBC and held on to her royal wedding souvenir until her death in the 1980s, when it was stashed away under a bed with some of her belongings. This is not the first piece of Elizabeth's royal wedding memorabilia to go up for sale in 2024. In July, a bridesmaid's dress worn by her friend Lady Elizabeth Lambard sold at auction for $48,420. While the cake is literally a slice of royal history, at the end of the day, Grinter quipped, "I don't think I'd particularly want to eat it, I must admit. Let's just hope our lucky bigger doesn't dig in for an anniversary tribute." I hope not, but it is 2024 and I would be shocked at nothing anymore. I will literally not be shocked by anything. If the person that bought this decided to eat it, you know, I would not be shocked anymore. And what I can only say is an A for an effort, a D for denied, and an F for effort. I can only assume this was a scheme made by Larry, Curly, and Moe, the Three Stooges. But a schemer dons a bear costume to stage attacks on luxury cars to fool insurance companies into paying out 141K in payouts. I I have no idea what's going on here, but okay. Once upon a time in a or in Southern California, a person wore a bear costume to damage luxury cars so friends could allegedly cash in on hefty insurance payouts. Four people in the Los Angeles area were arrested and charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy after claiming their fancy vehicles were damaged by a bear, only for insurance investigators to discover the destruction was actually caused by a person wearing a bear costume. And that's when you look that insurance adjuster dead in the eye and you say, "Sir, it is 2024. And if he wants to identify as a damn bear, then that is his right. And you pay me that insurance now." The fake beast allegedly broke into a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost on January 8th that was parked just northeast of Los Angeles at Lake Arrowhead in the San Bernardino Mountains, according to the California Department of Insurance Fraud Division. I mean, he has a little little, you know, weed weasel kind of gloves. What the hell is the insurance adjuster had to go back to headquarters. "So, Earl, what you find?" "Well, it was the damnedest thing. This idiot from California was in a bear suit just attacking his friend's car." Like, okay. The owner of the luxury vehicle submitted a vehicle to the insurance company to seemingly prove that the creature had wrecked the vehicle, but the insurance department did not bite. Upon further scrutiny of the video, the investigation determined that the bear was actually a person in a bear costume. I need to see this film. I need. Wait, they just have stills? They don't have the. It was they didn't catch on until he used his opposable thumb to open the car door. That's when things got shady. What are we doing here? Ruben Temzarian, Arat Chintarian, and Va Makadarian and Afiza Zuckerman have all been charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy. And yes, I probably butchered those names worse than the fake bear butchered those cars. As you can see, the terrifying damage of the Ditch Witch. What the we would have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for those pesky kids. This is like the Scooby Gang. What the hell is going on here? Insurance companies were defrauded of $141,839 because of the alleged fraud committed by the suspects. The state insurance department also released footage from what they called Operation Bear Claw during an alleged animal production. Uh, Surveillance video showed the alleged beast entering the window of the Rolls-Royce passenger side, but as it makes its way to the back seat, the animal fur appears very shiny and smooth, like it was a Halloween costume bought at a store, opposed to a creature in the wild. Photographs released by investigators revealed the interior of the Rolls Royce had very straight parallel marks damaging the seats and doors, sorry, which the owner claimed were from the bear claws or meat shredder. A biologist from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife reviewed the footage and suggested it was a person in a costume. Later, the bear costume was found in the suspect's home after a search warrant was executed. You are supposed to burn the shit out of that costume as soon as you finish the insurance frauds, sir. Also, those are who there had better have been booze on this on in the tank when they came up with this. What in the hell? A photograph of the outfit showed what appeared to be a onesie with bear-like fur, attachable paws for the feet and hands, and claw-like blades that seemingly could have been used to scratch the seats. The incident wasn't the only suspicious claim. Detectives found two additional insurance claims with two different insurance companies that were used at this for the same time and date as the location for their wild claims. Each of those claims involved two different vehicles, a 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG and a 2022 Mercedes E350. I'm sure these are expensive cars. I have no idea. My knowledge of cars is about the same as my knowledge of sports ball. Now, the suspects again appear to be using the bear costume to make it appear as though a bear had entered and damaged those vehicles as well. So there you go. We've got, fake bear attacks, underwater aliens. I mean, it's like 2024 is trying to outdo itself. In Ma'am, I don't have my scepter right with me right now, but on all holiness and as a mom of 6, I excommunicate you from the mom and, woman category, the lady category of the female race. You are now simply a female and shall be judged just terrible by me. A mom abandoned her son on the highway in the middle of the night for quote unquote having a tantrum, then falsely reported him kidnapped. What in the name of Hades? A 24-year-old mother in Louisiana has been arrested for allegedly abandoning her young son on the side of the road in the middle of the night, then falsely telling authorities that the boy had been kidnapped. Artasia Q. Viguez was taken into custody last week and charged with 1 count each of cruelty to a juvenile and child desertion. One second. Someone is blowing up my phone, so give me 1 second. And then it's a fax, thing. Well, there you go. It was a fax. I have no idea. What is going on? So, according to a news release from the St. Landry's Parish Sheriff's Office, deputies on November 5th, 2024, responded to a call about a possible kidnapping of a young child in the area of US 90 and Industrial Road in Eunice, Louisiana, which is about 80 miles east of Baton Rouge. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders made contact with Vaggies, who had reported that individuals in an older model truck had kidnapped her son as she was parked on the roadway attending to a deflated tire. But her story soon fell apart, revealing the truth behind her grievous actions. Almost immediately upon arriving at the scene, deputies learned that an unattended child was found by citizens in the parking lot of Heinen Medical Clinic with abrasions and injuries to his knees. The release states the child stated to officers that his mother, quote, ran him over. Ma'am, you are ticking me off. And left him on the side of the road. The child was transported to a nearby hospital for treatment. Due to the vast disparity in statements from Vaggies and her son, detectives with the sheriff's office, juvenile detectives units were called in to take over the investigation. A subsequent interview with Artasia revealed the awful truth. There was no kidnapping, and the young child was left unattended along a major roadway and allowed to run off into the night, the release states. It started as a disagreement between a mother and a child and then became a bizarre reaction to the child having a tantrum. Police say that, Artasia pulled the car over to the side of the road as son, who was obviously not properly restrained, then bailed out of the car before it made a stop, which resulted in the boy injuring his knee. The mother chose to leave the child out of the car, allowing him to run off in the dark along major roadways, the sheriff's office wrote. The mother admitted to detectives that she did not attempt to go after him and ultimately lost sight of him. She is currently being held in the St. Landry Parish Jail on $200,000 bond. Authorities emphasized that the investigation into her remains ongoing and urged anyone with relevant, not relative, but if you're a relative and you have relevant, information, then call about this. I have never in my And to lie to the police like your son isn't gonna spill the entire beans on you? Okay, maybe, but most likely not. In I would still be in a coma, y'all. Like, I would not be able to YouTube had I done this, but apparently a 14-year-old boy is charged with intentionally starting a 52-acre New Jersey forest fire. I mean, still in the ICU. Like, my mom would still be visiting me probably every Mother's Day to tell me I was a disappointment, but I would still be in the ICU if I had ever done this. A 14-year-old boy was arrested last week. I was alive before gentle parenting, y'all. I was a latchkey kid. I had to punish myself, but my mom would have joined in for the festivities had I, torched damn near 60 acres. For allegedly igniting a New Jersey forest fire that destroyed 52 acres in an intentional act of arson. The teen of Marlton, New Jersey, is accused of setting the October 30th blaze that tore through an area near Sycamore Drive and Berlin Township border over several days. Cops are now investigating if he may have played a role in starting an even larger fire, Eversham police announced Wednesday. Evesham cops, according to New Jersey Forest Fire Service and Evesham firefighters, battled the inferno for multiple days and were able to contain it before any structures were damaged, police said in a press release. 14-year-old kid, you are damn lucky that they got this before any structures. Had anyone perished in this fire, you would not be seeing the light of day. The department launched an investigation into the fire and soon found evidence suggesting that the flames were intentionally set. The teenager, whose name was withheld by the cops due to his age, was then identified as a suspect. He was arrested without incident on November 7th and charged with aggravated arson and causing or risking widespread injury and damage. He was booked into the Middlesex Juvenile Detention Center pending his first hearing. Police are investigating a 375-acre fire in the same area near Sycamore Drive that started on the same day of his arrest and is connected, if it's connected to the October 30th fire. The blaze was extinguished after firefighters battled it for multiple days as well. Forest fires have burned through several areas of New York and New Jersey over the past few weeks as record-breaking dry weather coupled with powerful winds have battered the region. An 18-year-old New York's park worker was killed Saturday battling a since-extinguished wildfire that crossed both states. 5 states, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, are under severe fire weather warnings. New York City is under a red flag warning issued by the National Weather Service over increased risks of brush fires. Elsewhere in New York and New Jersey, firefighters are struggling to contain a massive forest fire consuming more than 7,000 acres across both states near Greenwood Lakes. Uh, no, I did not. No, I didn't see your last comment. No, sorry, guys. And it's hard for me to keep up with comments, and I know I'm not doing as good a job of it today as I normally do, but I am on about 3 hours of sleep. So, let's see. The inferno, dubbed the Jennings Creek Fire, was only 30% contained as of Wednesday afternoon. A bushfire in Manhattan's Inwood Hill Park was the latest to ignite on Wednesday afternoon, sending a thick smoke cloud above the city's skyline. To our friends in the Netherlands, somehow you guys have found a sea turtle and you rescued it, which is awesome. A wayward sea turtle wound up in the Netherlands. A rescue brought it thousands of miles back home. We needed a good story. An endangered sea turtle that was found about a year ago, some 5,000 miles away from its native waters, has been released into the Gulf of Mexico, according to the Houston Zoo. The Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, named Boyer, after the boat that rescued it, was found off the coast of the Netherlands after becoming entangled in the net of a commercial fishing boat. The zoo said the turtle apparently was carried away by currents until it was found, and the U.S. National Fish and Wildlife Service secured the turtle's return. The turtle was taken to the Rotterdam Zoo, where it was nursed back to health and eventually flown to Houston, where it arrived on October 29th. After medical tests and an acclimation process, a healthy Boyer was released into the Gulf of Mexico from Stewart Beach in Galveston on November 4th. The Kemp's Ridley turtle is native to the coastal waters of the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean, and is the smallest sea turtle at about 27 to 32 inches and 75 to 100 pounds, according to Texas Park and Wildlife Department. The turtle was placed on the endangered species list in 1970, according to the department. He was looking for Nemo. He just got off, the little current. He just took the wrong exit. He was like me. He's like left or right. And we didn't remember because, you have to swim. So he couldn't do this. So he just took a wrong turn. I guess for a sea turtle, that's small, although it seems like a pretty big turtle to me. And in our final story, apparently a koala broke into a couple's house, although in Australia, I just imagine that you're not shocked when any sort of wild, animal breaks into your house. I know this is probably just an America kind of stereotype of Australian people, which I get, but I just can't imagine that you'd be shocked by just about damn near anything that came into your house if you lived in Australia. Let's see here. A couple arrived at their home in Australia after midnight and found their bedroom occupied by an unexpected intruder, a koala. I mean, of all the things that could, sneak into your house, a koala that carries chlamydia would still be much more, welcome than, I don't know, a saltwater crocodile. I think we're working on finishing up all of the dramatic reads in the Maya Kowalski case. I just know people are super busy. It's near the holiday time, so we will figure out a collaboration. We might have just an entire hair stream, you know us, just for Christmas. Give the people what they want, nothing but hair. Talk for Megan and me. We'll just tell you how you pretend to know how to do the curly girl method and everything else. Fran Diaz Rufino posted a video to Facebook showing the scene when she and her husband Bruno. Now, why is Bruno spelled with two N's? I've never seen Bruno spelt that way. But there you go. I guess they do it different in Australia. Were confronted in their Roslyn Park, South Australia home. Only in Australia, she wrote in the caption for the video, which shows the koala exploring the bedroom while Rufino shouts in Portuguese. Rufino, who's from Brazil, told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that she forgot how to speak English as a result of seeing the koala in her home. I thought, oh my God, there's a koala in my bedroom. And Bruno was like, lady, what are you doing? Why are you screaming? Rufino called an expert for help while her husband attempted to contain the koala. Bruno tried to hold him with some clothes and he grabbed the clothes and I called for koala rescue. But I'd forgotten how to speak English and I started to speak in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish. The koala was eventually coaxed out of the house and proceeded to climb a tree in the couple's yard. I think he's part of the family now, Rufino said. Ask if you guys can get like an endangered do not cross our property sort of thing. That is amazing. There you guys have it. We've got possible mermaid aliens on the horizon. An heir to a pie fortune in the UK goes cray cray. You've got a terrible, disgusting teacher. You've got a woman who, unalived her dad for whatever the hell reason and possibly might be crazy. We've got a slice of old moldy cake, a mom abandoning her child and trying to pass it off as a kidnapping, a wayward sea turtle, and a, koala that likes to break and enter. The balance is being restored to the universe. Not really. Absurdity is here to stay, and that's what makes Mornings with Mo great because you get a mix of the headlines and the absurdity, but not enough to pill your entire day going forward. I will see you guys tonight on Nightly Newsy News. I don't know if I will have a stream for the rest of the day because we've got one kid needing cavities filled. We've got another kid being picked up on half day, and I just don't know what the day is going to bring. So I hope you guys have a lovely day and, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire because kindness does not equal doormat. And I will see you guys tonight. Bye.